You are about to see what most people only whisper about: hidden networks, anonymous identities, silent observers, fake marketplaces, real consequences, and the moment curiosity turns into exposure. You will step into a system where names don't matter, where trust is an illusion, where a simple click can pull you deeper than you planned. This is not about myths like red rooms or hired killers. This is about something colder, quieter, and far more real. Every level reveals less comfort and more truth. And by the time you understand what's happening, it may already understand you. You remember the exact night everything shifted, the moment curiosity stopped being harmless and became something heavier, something quieter, and you didn't even notice until it was too late. Level 1, Newbie. You are Ethan Cole, sitting alone in a dim apartment in Seattle, sometime around 2:13 a.m. in October 2024, scrolling through videos that all seem to promise secrets no one is supposed to see. One clip mentions something called the dark web, and the way the creator says it makes it feel less like a place and more like a door left slightly open. You tell yourself it's just another corner of the internet, nothing special, but your fingers are already moving, searching, downloading Tor browser, watching the slow installation bar creep forward like it knows something you don't. When it finally opens, the screen looks plain, almost disappointingly normal, and for a second, you think the whole thing is overhyped. You type in your first onion link, not even sure what you expect, and land on a cluttered page filled with text, links, and usernames that feel strangely alive. There are no bright colors, no friendly design, just cold information sitting there, waiting like it doesn't care if you stay or leave. You click again and again, moving deeper without realizing you're starting to lose track of where you came from. A forum thread catches your eye. People talking in coded language, referencing things you don't fully understand, but you pretend you do, just enough to keep reading. The silence in your room starts to feel louder, like the world outside has pulled away, leaving you alone with something that doesn't need you, but is willing to let you watch. You lean closer to the screen, telling yourself you're still in control, that this is just curiosity, just information, just another late night. But somewhere between the third and fourth click, you notice something change, not on the screen, but in you. A quiet realization that this isn't just a place you visit. It's a place that begins to recognize you, and right before you close the tab, you see a single message pop up from a user named Nulltrace, asking one simple question that makes your chest tighten. First time here? You don't answer right away, but the fact that Nulltrace spoke to you at all makes it feel like the screen just looked back, and that is where the line starts to blur. Level 2, Explorer. You are still Ethan Cole, still in Seattle, now closer to 3:07 a.m., but the room feels smaller, like the air has thickened around your desk. You type slowly, carefully, something neutral, something that reveals nothing, because even you don't know what you should hide yet. The reply comes faster this time. Not friendly, not hostile, just precise, like someone measuring you without asking permission. You open another tab, search for ways to stay hidden, reading about VPN layers and wallets tied to Bitcoin, trying to follow instructions written by people who assume you already belong here. It feels like learning a language mid-conversation, catching only fragments while pretending you understand the whole sentence. You stumble into a marketplace page. Nothing flashy, just listings and numbers. And for a moment, it looks like any other online store until you realize what people are really trading is trust that doesn't exist. A user named Greyledger sends you a link, claims it's safe, claims it's verified, and you almost click without thinking, almost. Something stops you, maybe instinct, maybe fear. Maybe the memory of how quickly Nulltrace found you. you start noticing patterns. The same phrases repeated, the same promises, the same quiet pressure to move faster than you should. The deeper you go, the more everything starts to feel staged, like a test you didn't know you signed up for. You lean back, eyes dry, mind racing, wondering how many of these people are real and how many are just waiting for someone like you to slip. Then another message appears, this time from Null Trace again. Shorter, colder, and impossible to ignore. You're learning fast, but not fast enough. The message lingers longer than it should, not because of what it says, but because of how certain it feels, like someone already decided where you belong. Level 3, Insider. You are still Ethan Cole, still in Seattle, now staring at the clock hitting 4:11 a.m. in October 2024, and sleep is no longer part of the equation. You notice that Null Trace is no longer just messaging you but guiding you, dropping links that don't appear anywhere else, spaces that require access you somehow now have. You follow without asking why, stepping into invite-only forums where conversations are shorter, sharper, and stripped of anything unnecessary. People here don't explain things. They expect you to already know. And when you don't, you learn quickly by watching what gets ignored. You start reading about operational security, habits, patterns, mistakes that cost people everything. And for the first time, you understand that being here isn't about curiosity anymore. It's about control. Someone mentions Silk Road Shutdown 2013, not as history but as a warning, a reminder that nothing here is truly invisible. The names are different, the systems are quieter, but the risk is constant, sitting beneath every message like a second meaning. You realize that trust doesn't exist here, only temporary alignment, and even that can disappear without notice. Hours pass without you noticing, your reflection faint on the dark screen, eyes fixed, posture still, like you're trying not to be seen even in your own room. Then you catch something small, a detail in a thread referencing a timestamp that matches your activity. Too close, too precise to be coincidence. Your chest tightens as the thought settles in, not loud, not dramatic, just cold and steady, that maybe you're not just observing anymore. And before you can decide what to do next, Null Trace sends one final line that doesn't ask, doesn't warn, just states, you're already inside. The question is how long you last. You read the line twice, then a third time. Not because you doubt it, but because you understand it too clearly, and that clarity feels like a trap closing without noise. Level 4, Operator. You are still Ethan Cole, still in Seattle, now watching 5:02 a.m. in October 2024 flicker on your screen as if time itself has started to drift out of sync. The next message from Null Trace is not a suggestion. It is an access key, a set of instructions that lead you somewhere deeper, somewhere structured, controlled, deliberate. You follow it and land on a back-end panel, bare and functional, numbers updating in real time, user activity flowing like a system that never sleeps. This is not a forum, not a marketplace you casually browse. This is infrastructure. And the moment you see it, you understand that someone chose to show you this. You hesitate, cursor hovering, but curiosity is no longer the right word for what you feel. It's closer to momentum, like you've already stepped too far forward to stop. A task appears, simple on the surface, review logs, flag anomalies, nothing illegal in appearance, nothing you can point to and say this is wrong. And that is what makes it worse. You tell yourself you are just observing, just learning how it works, but the system responds to your input, and that response makes it real. Minutes pass, maybe more, and you begin to see patterns, flows of data, connections between users, behavior that feels coordinated without ever being obvious. Then it hits you quietly, like everything else here, that if you can see this, someone else can see you seeing it. Your name is not displayed, but your presence is recorded, logged somewhere you cannot access, and that thought settles deep in your chest. You lean back, staring at the screen, realizing that leaving might not be as simple as closing a tab anymore, and just as you consider disconnecting, the interface updates again, a new line appearing in the system log that freezes you in place. Operator Ethan_Cole status active. You stare at the line until it stops looking like text and starts feeling like a mirror, reflecting something you didn't agree to become. Level 5. Reality check. You are still Ethan Cole, still in Seattle, now watching the clock turn 5:47 a.m. in October 2024, and the light outside is beginning to break through the edges of your blinds. You move the cursor, slowly at first, then with purpose, searching for a way out, a disconnect button, anything that feels like control. But the interface doesn't offer comfort, only function. The more you look, the more you realize how much of this space runs on illusion. Listings that repeat, users that echo the same language, systems designed to look deeper than they really are. You see patterns that weren't obvious before, scams layered over scams, noise built to hide the few things that actually matter. And that's when it shifts again, the understanding that the real danger was never the myths, never the stories people tell to scare each other, but the quiet, organized structure behind it all. You close the panel, one click, then another, shutting down tabs until only your desktop remains, blank and ordinary, like nothing happened. You uninstall Tor browser, clear everything you can think of, watching progress bars move like they're erasing more than just files. The room feels different now, not smaller, not larger, just exposed, like the silence has weight. You tell yourself it's over, that you stepped in, saw enough, and walked away before anything could follow you back. But as you sit there, staring at your empty screen, you notice one last detail that doesn't fit. A faint notification flickering at the corner of your monitor. It's not from a browser, not from anything you recognize, just a single line appearing without sound, without warning. Session closed, observer remains. You tell yourself you made it out, that closing the browser was enough, that stepping away erased everything that happened. But the truth is harder to accept, because what you saw was only the surface of something built to stay hidden. The deeper layers are not loud, not dramatic, just patient and precise. And the most dangerous part was never the system, it was how easily you adapted to it. You came in as a visitor, but you didn't leave the same. Because once something like this notices you, the real question is not how you entered, it's whether you were ever meant to leave.